IG, which stands for insulated glass, is made up of 2 or more glass lights and a spacer frame. In the IG department, team members take 2 single glass lights and stack them together with a spacer frame to create a double pane IG unit. In order to make an IG unit, single glass lights are needed. Glass is transferred from the cutting table to the breakout table when the team member is ready to break the lights apart. As the master sheet moves to the breakout table, the next sheet moves into position on the cutting table. A transfer table with suction cup arms picks up a master sheet of glass and lays it down in an idle position until the cutter is ready for it. Once the master sheet is squared into position on the cutting table, the automated arm will begin cutting lights of glass based on the customer's size specifications. Glass light edges are grinded to create a small perimeter to allow adhesion with the spacer frame sealant. This process happens before the cutting head scores or cuts the glass. When the breakout table is empty, the team member will cycle the machine to transfer the cut sheet of glass to the breakout table. The team member will then break apart the glass lights and remove any excess or trim pieces that are not needed. The trim pieces are discarded into the glass crusher. Once the team member removes all trim pieces, the light is placed on a cart for the IG assembly lines. A spacer frame is made on the intercept where a raw or flat material is automatically uncoiled and moves through the feeder press. In the feeder press, necessary notches to bend the frame are punched into the flat material. If a customer ordered a unit with grid, the grid notches are then punched at this time. The coil continues on into the roll former where the flat material is rolled into a U shape. This is necessary to achieve the proper assembly and thickness of an IG unit. At the outfeed of the roll former, any frame bend is dimpled to allow for easy and proper bending of the frame. The coil then passes through the cutoff where each frame is cut apart from the next frame. The transfer conveyor moves the spacer frame from the cutoff to the extruder where structural, moisture barrier, and moisture absorbent sealants are applied as the frame feeds through the machine. The team member awaits at the outfeed to fold the frame into a rectangle and hang it on the conveyor. A team member will install grid into frames that require grid per customer's order and return them to the overhead conveyor for stacking. The carts of glass lights are then staged at the washer to be cleaned before assembling. The team member will pick up a single light and feed it into the washer rollers to run through the wash cycle. At the outfeed of the washer, the follow stacker positions the glass light while the lead stacker grabs a spacer frame from the overhead conveyor. Together, the 2 team members stack a spacer frame between 2 lights, which creates an IG unit. If a customer wants grid, the grid is assembled and installed into the frame before the unit is stacked. The unit is then sent through the oven where it is heated and pressed out to adhere the glass to the spacer frame to meet quality standards. As the unit approaches the infeed of the oven, it presses down on sensors which trigger the oven emitters to turn on. At the oven outfeed, a team member then attaches a traveler and offloads the completed IG unit onto a cart. For added energy efficiency, a customer can elect to have their windows filled with argon. The argon is injected into a cooled IG unit after it has been stacked and pressed. Every unit, argon or not, is secured with a screw in the fourth corner hole to assist in the protection of the interior of the unit. Hot butyl is applied, pressed, and smoothed to seal the unit. This sealant is a moisture barrier to prevent moisture infiltrating the interior of the IG unit, which would result in condensation.